Lords of the Fallen 2 has been announced, with the biggest point of interest being revamped combat. Developers were aware that Lords of the Fallen combat was a stinker that dragged the game down and hired a new gameplay developer to fix things. Kudos to developers. I am rooting for everyone that wants to improve. Have to say that such a change brought a smile to my face. Two reasons why. One is that Lords of the Fallen might finally get a chance to get out of the mediocre and decent quality category into a good or maybe even great. Second reason is another I told you so to all the people in the comment section claiming Lords of the Fallen combat was good that were attacking me for criticizing their game's combat system, of which there was plenty to be critical about. Even though developers themselves admitted something was off and tried to improve combat significantly over the years, and I commend them for it, despite the fact they couldn't do it because the base was wrong in many ways, so the improvements didn't bear fruit that much, but it was better over time. Just not good enough to be called good. Thankfully, some developers are not as big of fools as fans of the games, who have no problem taking a dump in any comment section, leaving their ignorance on display to stink up everything. If it was up to some of the players, some games would never improve in any way because as buyers they are bound by their egotistical purchase, so if someone criticizes it, they have to go into defensive mode because in their heads they become fools immediately due to buying a non-perfect game. Here's the truth about games. There's maybe a dozen perfect games in history, that's it. My favorite game of all time, Fallout 2, has weak to mediocre combat. I'm aware of that. It has incredibly high kill satisfaction, which makes it seem much better than it is. It is what it is. I don't go around throwing shit in comment sections of YouTube because I can't take it that my favorite game of all time is not a perfect one. I'm 38 at the time of doing this video, and I've seen nasty changes over the years. People are becoming more egotistical, emotional, and ignorant than ever before. It's worrying. It seems like many have constructed this flimsy but comfortable protective shell that only has the view of the outside and never on the inside. In my recent video about Neo, people were genuinely being proud of pre-ordering. They were boasting about it. What did I get? Performance-wise, broken game on PC. For such things happening, there's only one type of people to blame, and those are the ones that pre-order, which ruin things for everyone else. Why? Because the only thing they care about is their flimsy, egotistical, emotional and ignorant shell that needs to be protected at all costs, because if it cracks, then they would finally see what fools they are. No one wants to be a fool, but I'm telling you it's not that big of a deal. I had plenty of real life instances where I've been one, and the only thing that leads to is becoming aware of it and improving as a person. Laughing at yourself for what a fool you are is such a relief, because there's no need to pretend like everyone else is at fault. No, we all fuck up. Admitting we know very little about certain things is good, because then we can learn. I need to learn to better judge writing and world building in games. Not that I'm bad at it, but I know I could be better. When it comes to judging combat, I know my stuff. So there's very little room for improvement there, but still there is some. So to see comments on Lord of the Fallen videos such as "this combat is better than what From Software does" means we have failed as a society on a deeper level. Very few people explain why something is better, good, great. They just leave those empty stinker comments that mean nothing. Same as saying something sucks and then leaving. What have they accomplished? Nothing. Anyway, had to gloat a bit again on Lords of the Fallen, you combative bastards. I know my stuff and only want games to be better. Happened quite a few times that the same criticisms I had were something developers were either aware of or made aware of over time and then acted on it. Not because of me, I'm nobody. It's because other people have noticed it too and have spoken out about it. Never be afraid to put constructive criticism forward. Only good can happen from it. Not everyone in gaming is an ignorant fool. Plenty of smart people too that taught me a lot about games over the years. Developers can't improve without constructive criticism. Happened with more than a few games. There is potential for many franchises to be much better, but unfortunately a lot of the time fans, publishers and sometimes developers themselves are standing in the way of progress. Thankfully not Lords of the Fallen developers. I've watched alpha combat gameplay for Lords of the Fallen 2 and it seems like there's been quite a few improvements. One of my biggest criticisms was that animation speed discrepancy between attacks made no sense and was creating that floaty feeling that takes away from combat. Seems like that has been sorted. Attack animations look really good. There's a fair bit of movement with some of the attacks which can create clunkiness usually, but doesn't seem that clunky at all in the video. Rolls look much better too, as that was also one of my points of criticism. Again, the problem in Lords of the Fallen was the speed discrepancy between roll and attack animations. It created that floatiness and clunkiness. The absolute biggest criticism I have for both Lord of the Fallen games was tracking. Made combat play like it was on the assembly line. Thankfully, it seems that it has been sorted too. Combat this time around looks good. What's most important is that Lords of the Fallen 2 seems like it could bring the franchise to that higher quality level. I really want that. More great games means everybody wins. Anyway, that would be all. Full game reviews have been on Patreon and Subscribe Star since a few months ago. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching.